All right, so I wanted to record this because after our phone conversation, I really got to thinking of like interviews and what to say and what to do and all that stuff, right? And I got to thinking of a lot of things that I've done in my own interviewing experiences. And as you know, over the past couple of years, and you've seen me go to a lot of interviews. I think I've been to, I don't know, a couple hundred easily in the last 2 years. So that's a lot. That's a lot of interviews. So I definitely have gone through a lot, and I just wanted to kind of like make this recording to kind of go over my thoughts and observations and what I've observed and encountered doing interviews and just basically what I do. Now, a lot of what I'm gonna say may not be new to you, but that's not to say that I believe you don't know all this already. But there may be something that is new to you and can help, and if so, great. And then if not, not right. But the thing is, definitely, with with my intention of this is that this Friday when you have your interview, you will be offered that job, not because you were recommended by some executive, but because you're gonna blow them away in the interview, right? So, I don't have anything really written down. I just have kind of like some high level points that I just jotted down to go over, and I'm basically just going to be riffing. So, I may go off a little bit, but I'll try to be as concise as possible with everything that I'm about to say. So, okay. So first off, when preparing for an interview, um, is you obviously. So, uh, if possible, get a haircut. If you can't get a haircut, make sure your hair is as well done as possible. In terms of dressing, wear your best fitting suit, shirt and tie, everything ironed and pressed. Make sure your suit's dry cleaned and not wrinkled. And make sure your shoes are shined. Okay, so that's the obvious thing. What I always aim for is to look better than the guy interviewing me, and a lot of times I succeed, and sometimes I don't. And either way, it's never a bad thing. And if someone's intimidated by the way I look, then I don't want to work with that guy anyway, right? And then I just move on. So that's the most important thing. Okay. Secondly, when you're going to the place that you're interviewing, um, try to be there within 10 to 8 minutes early. No word of a lie. No more, no less. If you get there 20 minutes early, even 15 minutes early, and you go up to the receptionist or you call in or whatever kind of reception system that they have, that may put pressure on the person that's going to be interviewing you, because they may not be ready. If they're OCD, they have like a set schedule. They don't like things disrupted. All that stuff, right? That's why I always get there once again, 10 to 8 minutes early, no earlier, and obviously no later, because that 10 to 8, that 8 to 10 minute space is for the reception to call them to, okay, go, take a piss, and then they got to take the elevator down and walk to you. So that takes about 8 to 10 minutes, right? So that's why I pretty much go there, and then if for some reason they're not ready and they make me wait, I don't care either way. It's not like I have anything else to do that day, right? If I'm going for an interview. So this, so yeah, and once again, if you get there early, then like it just kind of like it may disrupt them. They may whatever, right? It's just better to avoid it. Um, when you see this guy, approaching you, forget that eye contact bullshit. Okay, just actually, just to quickly go back. If for some reason you get downtown and you get to this office building and you are 20 minutes early, sit in the lobby and just wait. Look at your watch. Don't go anywhere. Don't waste any more time. Just wait. Go over your thoughts or whatever. Rehearse your answers, which you should have everything prepared, which you will after I'm done with this. and then you go up. Okay, so when you see this asshole approaching you, you have like 3 seconds to size this guy up, right? So literally, forget making eye contact. You want to look at this guy and see what he's wearing, how his hair is done, what kind of shoes is he wearing. So I mean, is this guy wearing flip-flops? Is he wearing hipster canvas shoes? Is he wearing Italian loafers that he just polished in the morning? All of that is going to tell you, what this guy is like. If it's Friday and this guy is casual, he's wearing jeans. Are they loose jeans? Are they tight hipster jeans? Is he going for the camel toe look? Is he wearing a t-shirt 2 sizes too tight? Does he have 3 buttons undone with like major chest hair and a gold chain around his neck? All of that matters because it's going to tell you of this guy's personality and possibly his interests, which is going to come into play during the interview. So for example, if this guy's wearing a Harley Davidson t-shirt, that's going to tell you, this guy could be potentially into Harley Davidson motorcycles or may even own one, right? So all of that are telltale signs. This guy wearing a blazer, he likes to look professional, and that's how you're going to act too, right? So that's going to play into the attitude that you have during the interview. So you meet this guy and you're going to shake his hand. There's no need to squeeze his hand. If he squeezes yours, who gives a shit? He's a douchebag. I don't care. What I like to do is just grab his hand and give it that quick up down shake, and that's it. I release. I don't go for the squeeze. I don't go for the the firm thing that chicks like to do on your ass. I don't go for any of that. Just hey, up and down, gone. That's it. Okay. Now when they take you in, the first thing they're going to ask you, even before they ask you, tell us about yourself, the first thing that even in the lobby they may ask, did you have trouble finding the place? How was your trip coming in? Do not be negative. Do not fucking say that traffic was shit. Don't say that, oh my god, I can't believe that the GO train is so packed. It smelled in there. No negativity at all. Like honestly, they're gonna ask you, did you find it okay? Yeah, you know what? No problems at all. Just leave it at that. If you want, you can blow sunshine up their ass saying, it's a really nice office or this building, whatever. I don't get to come to downtown Toronto too often. It's nice to be here. I'll be, I'm going to, I don't know, take a walk up Yonge Street. Haven't done it in so long. Whatever, right? Small, meaningless talk at that point, right? All right, introductions. So they are going to ask you either tell us about yourself or what do you know about the company. Nowadays, most people don't ask you, well, what do you know about the company? Because they don't give a shit if you went on the website and read their about page, because that's all you're going to tell them. Because I mean you should be doing that beforehand. You should be researching what the company is and what they do and all that stuff, and if you can find out who owns it, that's great, and then you can rattle off those notes, right? But ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like when I interview people, I never ask them what they know about the company, because I don't give a shit, because I just want to know what they know how to do about the job. They don't have to know a damn thing about the company. But some people are still anal and old school that way. Mostly HR people. This guy may not be, right? But he's going to ask you, tell us about yourself, or tell me about yourself, right? And that's where you keep it just basically plain Jane, unless you've gotten a better sense of what this guy is like. But at the same time, don't give up too much at the start. I like to do, because just say, well, professionally, I've been involved in this in my career. I've done this, I've done that. And they're gonna ask you all these questions anyway, but you just kind of like go high level and summarize. And up until recently, I worked on this. On a personal note, I like soccer. I really care about my fitness. Obviously, I'm not getting any younger, and you can be funny and say, shit, I don't know, and I like reading. I like movies. I just watched The Martian. Did you read the book? It's a great book. You got to read it. Whatever, right? Yeah, and then you basically close it off with, and then you close it off with, and Joe Blow told me about this position, and I'm happy to be here to talk to you about it, right? And that's a good closing opening statement. All right, and that's when this guy's gonna go off. Okay, well, he'll probably say, okay, well, let me tell you about the position, right? And then he's going to tell you about whatever the position is. And you have to pay attention here to what he says when he's like, let me tell you how this works. We do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. Pay attention, because this is going to be your questions way, way, way at the end, right? So like, if you don't pay attention to anything else, pay attention to this, and then take notes to the way he says things are done, because it's going to matter a lot. And if you haven't done this before, it may actually be hard to do it the first time, but you'll catch on pretty much as you go along, right? Now, once again, everyone always says make eye contact. You know what? I actually find that too much eye contact is not that great. And it's hard making eye contact all the time too, and it's hard for them, it's hard for you, believe me, right? Just look at them as much as possible. Blink every so often. If at the start of the interview I forgot to mention, if they offer you a glass of water, take it, okay, because you will need it. And while he's talking, you just remain neutral. Now, your posture matters. Whether you're upright, two uprights, slouching, all this stuff is semi-important. If you're leaning forward, obviously body language means that you're interested. If you're leaning back, it means that you're kind of laid back, whatever. What I like to do are the kind of like postures of authority. No word of a lie. So it basically means, so like imagine you're sitting down, your legs are open, not like wide open, but like just kind of like normal posture, and your hands are kind of like on the table above your knees, right? So you're just sitting there like that, or with your arms there, right? Or if you lean back, just put your hands on your thighs and just listen. Don't clasp your hands together. Don't lean forward like you're in the 6th grade with your hands clasped together on top of the table, right? Don't cross your feet under the table, because it just looks gay, right? So I literally just like to stay upright. If there's an armrest, if the chair has armrest, just put both elbows down on the armrest and just sit neutrally, and that's it, right? When you talk, move your hands around. When you're not talking, keep your hands and elbows on the on the rest, or keep your hands on your thighs, or keep your hands on the table, and like those are like positions of authority, postures of authority. Now, regarding your attitude when he's asking you questions, it really, you don't have to go balls down and be like, yeah, I'm a go-getter, I'm all this. You obviously have to be a self-starter to be able to do any job nowadays, right? So you don't really have to say the exact words. You don't have to say all those keywords. I'm detail oriented, I'm meticulous, I'm responsible, all those buzzwords, forget about it. Do not even say that, right? So, but what you're the way you're talking is good. It's good to be animated a little bit, not too much, but you want to give flashes of I guess being a little bit crazy and funny, but not like doing it all the time, so that they think you're certified insane, right? So when when you're acting out, you want to be positive. You want to be, I'm really passionate about what I do and what I believe in, and that's why I'm here, regardless of I know that this position is a little bit beneath what I'm doing, but at the same time, I know the industry well. I know I know the position, I know processes, and that's the most important thing here. That kind of bullshit, right? So so you're still being positive, which is important, right? But you don't have to go crazy and overdo it, right? Okay, so he's going to ask you scenario questions. You're going to have to prepare at least 3 scenarios from your past work. One is, name a time when you had to deal with a difficult customer, and what was the situation, and how did you deal with it, and how did you resolve it? That's one of the questions. The other is name a time when you encountered a problem, and what did you do to try to fix it, and did you implement a new process to improve it, or whatever the case is, something like that. And the other one is going to be something along the lines of um, I don't know. It's going to be like a variation of those other two. Like, uh, can you name a time or when you had a conflict with a coworker, and how did you deal with it, right? So there's going to be that. There's also going to be if I spoke to your last boss, what would they say about you? They're going to say that too. So get ready for that one, and just say, I'm a pretty open guy, whatever. I'm pretty fun to be around, whatever. And then that's when you start to say things like, for example, if they ask you that question, what would your boss say? Say this guy across from you has like, barbecue sauce stains on his chest because he was just having, a rack of ribs and a beer, right? So that's your opportunity to literally say things like, they say that I'm pretty fun to be with. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy's guy. I drink beer, I eat wings, and I watch hockey. And that's when you connect with them, because at the end of the day, fucking interviews are personality contests, man. You know what I mean? Like, they sure have to do with if you can do the job, but at the end of the day, they are personality contests, man. Because like, people have hired other people that know nothing about the role, but they hire them because they like them. And it's the same thing as why people hire friends or people that they know. It's because they like them. They may not know how to do the job, but they hire them anyway because they feel comfortable. And that's what you got to do in this interview. You got to make this guy feel like, man, I've known this guy all my life. Holy cow! It's like a long lost blood brother. My God, man, I feel like having a beer with this guy right now, right? So that's what you got to do. Okay, I'm at 17 minutes here. Next questions. Strengths and weaknesses. So these are like the shittiest questions on the planet. If this guy asks you this question, then HR probably give him a list of shit, and this guy doesn't know anything about interviewing. You pretty much don't ask these questions. You like ask around these questions. But these are like the most common things that people do. For example, if I were interviewing someone, I wouldn't say something like, "What's your greatest weakness?" I would ask. I would ask something like, was there ever a time when you were approached by your boss over a shortcoming you had, and what did they suggest for you? I would ask something like that kind of brings out them to explain, okay, they encountered a challenge, and then they did something to fix it. I wouldn't just ask, what's your weakness, right? And at the same time, so those are the kind of questions I would ask. So you better be ready for that too, I guess, if this guy's any good. But typically they'll ask, name your strengths, name your weakness, right? So when you talk to your strengths, I like to stick with intangibles, because in terms of technical shit or like actual work shit, your resume should speak for itself. And if this guy hasn't read your resume, he's a fucking moron. But chances are you've already gone over your resume earlier in the interview before this guy asks this, right? So what's your strength? I'm a pretty positive person. I always stay optimistic. Even when it seems like the sky is falling, I'll be finding a way to hold it up. I don't know, right? Obviously, even though communication skills is like a buzzword, you know what? Communication skills is important. It's like the most important thing anywhere. And it's not just it being able to speak English, although that is pretty important in my opinion. But it's being able to communicate effectively. So for example, in my role, I have to deal with dumb motherfuckers all the time. So I have to be able to explain shit in apples and oranges, right? So saying that, right? And also, I like to use the term being accessible, right? So I don't know what this role is like, if you have any client-facing things or if you got to deal with other people, but let's say you do. And this guy, in his explanation earlier, was I like to be like, I like to be open, so people can just approach me and not feel intimidated with asking me whatever they want, that kind of stuff. Weakness. This is where you say something like, I guess my biggest weakness is I can't fly. I wish I knew how, right? That would be a great weakness. And then if they laugh, hopefully they will, they'll be like, no, seriously, and they're going to probably press the issue. What would be your greatest weakness? And this is where you say, don't say any possible weakness, even if you have like, yeah, you know what, I got a small left nut. No, forget it. What you want to say is, I can't really name a specific weakness outright, because the real truth is that every scenario that I encounter is different, and every job that I start in always has its challenges. So there's always going to be something that I run into that I won't know how to fix, and it's going to be one of those things where I have to go, okay, I need to stop, I need to take a look and figure out, how do I get around this, or how do I solve this, or is there a process I can create to really get through it? Do I need to ask for help? Those are the times when where I encounter challenges, and I suppose that would be a weakness encountered at that time. But the most important thing is that I would work through that challenge, right? That is what you want to say when they ask you what's your weakness. Don't say I procrastinate or something like that, right? It's I always encounter different scenarios and situations, and when I do, I may have to stop and take a look at what's happening, but ultimately, I'm going to work through it. Okay. I'm at 21 minutes here. Okay, so next up, okay, how much do you want to make? For example, if this guy told you we're paying between 40 and 45, you want to say, I think that based on, I would say, just based on what I project this role to be, and where and with what I can bring to the table, I think that 45 to 55 would be the range I'm looking for. And if this guy says, well, we're willing to go as high as 40, I would say at that point, if you're interested in pursuing me further, and if you offered me 40, I think it would be something that I would have to I think that it was something I would have to consider or think over or whatever, right? So and then leave it at that, and don't talk and don't do any negotiation right there, because they haven't offered you shit. There's nothing to negotiate. That's that, right? And this guy shouldn't push the issue any further. Now it's important to say 40. Well, how much vacation does this role offer? 2 weeks. Okay, that's pretty standard, I suppose. Any other benefits, all that stuff, get the full picture. And once again, don't negotiate anything yet. Okay, lastly, I'm at 23 minutes. I'm not doing so bad. I was trying to keep this under half an hour. All right, lastly, at the end of it all, it's going to be like, do you have any questions for me? Yeah, no shit, I got questions for you. Are you going to hire me? That's, and you know what? That's actually a valid question if you wanted to throw that in, because I've asked that in the past too, and one of the times I did ask that, I actually got the job, interestingly enough, and it turned out to be like the worst job ever. But so if you've done any interview preparation research online, I'm sure that you've Googled what to ask at the end of an interview, right? And you're going to get a whole bunch of questions, and if they're all the same. And if this guy has ever interviewed anyone before, and I'm sure that this guy wastes half his day scrolling down the wall of LinkedIn and seeing what dumb people write and post and share and all this stuff, and then he tabs over to Facebook. I'm sure he wastes half his day doing that. Then he's probably read all these questions already, because I went on LinkedIn, and just the other day I saw this article that this woman posted of must ask questions at the end of an interview, and literally I clicked on it, and I wish I didn't, because it was like 10 seconds I'm never going to get back in my life now, because it was literally the same goddamn questions that are all over the internet. And I can't believe this person had the balls to write an article with the same fucking questions you see everywhere that you Google. It was mind blowing at that time. And once again, I'm never going to get those 15 seconds back now. So Basically, do not ask any of those questions. Any of those goddamn questions you see on the internet. Um, as I said, um, don't ask what's a day in the life of. Don't ask how do you measure success, because if you don't know how to quantify how someone is doing well, this isn't somewhere I want to work or whatever. You know, like 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 I used that question before it appeared on the fucking internet. Someone must have heard me and put it on there, because that's like an old question. I mean, and by old, like 2 years old, like God, everyone's heard it already. And if it's on LinkedIn, then everyone's heard it. Don't hopefully you've already covered benefits or whatever, and if you haven't, that's a valid question to ask, truth be told. If it, but at the same time, you know what, it kind of isn't. If this guy hasn't asked you anything about cash or anything of that sort, you really don't have to ask about benefits yet until you get a job offer. So the best possible questions to ask are questions based on the job itself. So when this guy was talking about, let me tell you about the job, and he goes over what they do, that's when you're paying attention to his processes. And this is when you ask, okay, when you mentioned so-and-so procedure, I noticed that you said that you would do this and that. Now, how do you know that you actually can track that procedure if you don't have the system in place? And that's when, and those are the kind of questions you ask, right? And then when he answers you, you can say something like, well, wouldn't it be better if you used so-and-so software to automate this process instead? Because, in the past, this is what I've used, right? And that's where you're showing your knowledge towards the job in your experience, because you're saying shit that's probably blowing his mind right now, and he's like, man, this guy actually knows what he's talking about, and he's actually already thinking of ways to improve my business. And that's when he's going to want to hire you. All right, never mind anything else. Well, actually, if this guy's a slob and you say you drink beer and eat wings, he's probably going to want to hire you there too, because he's going to have a drinking buddy for lunch. So, but those are the kind of questions you're going to ask. And you also ask them questions about themselves, just like they say, tell me about yourself. You can fully ask the guy interviewing you, if he's your hiring manager, tell me about yourself. If I'm going to be working with you directly, I want to know who I'm working for. How did you come to be supervisor of whatever supply chain management here? Like I want to know the story of Joe Blow here, right? And that's when he's going to say whatever, and then be like, really? And if you have some shit in common, point it out. Really? You went to Barton's too? No way. What year? That's when you connect as well, right? All that shit, right? So there's that. And that's pretty much it. After that, those last questions there is when you really seal the deal, and that's when they really see, okay, man, this guy is actually paying attention to the shit that I'm saying, and holy fuck, I can't believe we both had the same teacher. Man, I think we even banged the same chick. Like all that shit, right? So the important thing is to like connect with these assholes. If you're disconnected from these guys, it's not gonna work, right? So for example, that last interview that you had where this guy was like standoffish, and then he calls you back saying, I wasn't really convinced or whatever. He was never gonna hire you in the first place because he never had that connection with you, right? And that's the important thing, right? And fucking name drop everyone man. Honest to God, I mean, like when you're talking about yourself, say that you play soccer, say that that you're go ahead and say that you're Chilean. If this guy is Argentinian, or I don't know, or hopefully he's not from Argentina, but all that shit, right? So just go ahead and say as much as you want. Say that in terms of this company that does planning, say, what, I actually heard of this company from my brother who does project management. He just worked in the FIFA Women's World Cup. He got us a couple balls, whatever. Just kind of like talk about all that shit, like all that kind of like auxiliary shit, right? So, and that's pretty much it, man. You know what? I'm up to half an hour. If you made it this, if you made it all the way to this, I appreciate you listening, man. Once again, you may know all this shit already, and it may be obvious, but just wanted to get it, I guess, documented and recorded. So because like I kind of felt that I didn't get kind of like all these tips and tricks out, and there's like so much more that I left out for sure, from like hundreds of interviews that I've gone through and that I've conducted as well. And I firmly believe that with these especially the advice of connecting with this idiot, and hopefully he's not an idiot, but connecting with this person on a personal level is the most important thing. And then even secondary to that is you actually showing that you're worth it. Afterwards, when this guy gives you an offer, if he lowballs you, that's when you say, I think that if you kick it up a nickel, I think that we'd probably be able to do to start working together. Once again, based on where I am in my life as well. And at the same time, I think that it would be a reasonable compromise for your organization, because at the same time, while you're getting someone that can do the work, you're also going to be getting someone that has years of social engineering experience and dealing with people, and those are the intangibles that you're going to get, and that's what your money is going to be paying for. Smack across the face. All right, man, that's it. I'm out. Thanks for listening, and you know what, good luck, man. Good luck, honest to God. You're gonna kick ass once again. Look better than him, man, and blow them away, man. And one last thing. Sorry, man. One last thing. When you look great and you're walking through that office, someone is going to notice, and that's when they're going to go to him. You know what? He looked a lot better than all those other candidates, and that's going to count too. All that shit, man. It's crazy, but it's true. Okay. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm dropping the mic.